Good day, everybody. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday, wherever you are. Just turned Tuesday here on the East Coast. It's Rod with Power Group. Going to get started here in about a minute. Bit of a last minute kind of decision stream. I was going through the earnings and I've had a busy day today and just spent the day in the sun again. And I thought I'd go through the video with everybody and review it. I haven't really dove deep into the details too much, but I did skim through the conference call. And we'll go over that here now, but I'll just kind of review the report like I would normally do it on my own time. So we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm currently in Prince Edward Island, like I said, on holiday, and I'm not in my regular setup. And just full disclosure, my daughter's in bed and so is my partner. So just making sure I'm not too loud, but hopefully I'm coming through nice and clear. If someone could let me know in the live chat, we'll get started here momentarily. I see we have a ton of people rolling in. Over a couple dozen people now. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to get started here in just about a second. Give me one moment here. Thanks to everyone for joining the live stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Monday. It's July 29th. And today is Tilray earnings day, Q4 and full 2024 earnings. And just as a reminder, like I said, my daughter's in bed. I'm on holiday. And I'm in a small apartment here, 2-bedroom apartment, so I don't want to be too loud. But I wanted to come on and do a quick live stream. These earnings were absolutely fantastic. Obviously came in at a loss, but overall very positive. And I think we can really understand where the future is heading with Tilray Brands, this juggernaut in the making. So we'll jump right to it. I see we have a ton of people. Just getting an update on the sound. Sound is great. You sound good, bro. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, we'll jump into it. Thanks everybody again for joining the live stream. We'll jump into the earnings. As always, though, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Yada, yada, yada. And subscribe if you're new. You can tick the bell as well, and then that way you'll be notified on any future live streams that are similar to this, or whenever I post new content. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So they did post a video here. I'm not going to play the sound because there's no need to. I'm not sure if it's copyrighted either, but you can see here the highlights reduce their convertible debt by $300 million. And you can tell it's definitely a lifestyle brand, but very good quality production here in the video as well, which I noticed. Pretty cool. Not very often you see companies release their earnings and a 50-second ad to go with it. So I just seen this successfully. Yeah, one of the big things too was the hemp drinks. So they're going to be releasing Delta 9 hemp-derived beverages, and I just made a video on that not too long ago. When was that video actually? Must have been like a week ago now. So I said that they could be looking to get into it soon, and the fact that peers were looking to get into it was a good sign. But when hemp drinks right here. So yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, time flies. Feels like it was just a couple days ago. But I'm on vacation, like I said. Days are kind of getting mixed up here, but obviously a great quarter overall. They had record revenue growth. They had a $300 million debt reduction. If we go to the financials here real quick, I posted a video, an earnings prep video. Again, and if you haven't been watching these earning prep videos, this was posted over 2 weeks ago and 2.4K views. So 2.4K people basically knew that the analyst estimates were forecasting negative 0.02 and then 226 million USD. So it came in at 229 and then negative 0.04. So it was very, very close, adding in all those analyst estimates. And you can see here on investing.com as well, negative 0.04 versus negative 0.02 EPS. And revenue came in at 229.9 million versus 226.2 million on investing. But like I said, I go through in these videos, I give my thoughts and opinions as well. So not just reading, numbers on a screen, but I go through all of my favorite analyst tools and then I add them up, divide them, get an average, and then see what we're working with, right? And like I said, we were forecasting 226 million, negative 0.02. So it was a way to get prepared, right? And even if it's a big miss, right, it's always a hit or miss with earnings. It's always a gamble, but I would say I would say at least 60-70% of the time, it's pretty accurate, which is, if it's more than 50% or even, 30%, in my opinion, I want to know about it, right? But as I've been saying for a while now, it's been, a brutal bear market. So I'm not expecting, earnings to really move the needle until we see a couple of back-to-back great quarters. And we want to see the stock, start to reverse as well, confirm a monthly uptrend, get back into a bull market, yada, yada, right? So there's a lot of things that we have to do. And like I said, for anybody that's just joining the stream, I know we have quite a few people joining. I'm on the East Coast, I'm on holiday, and it's after midnight here, and my daughter, she's just turned 6 months, so she just got to sleep. I'm trying not to be too loud and respectful to my partner as well. But that's why I'm talking a little low, and it's after midnight, so basically pretty tired. Was in the pool in the sun all day. But I seen this, to be honest, I didn't even check my phone until a couple hours ago, and then I just kind of reviewed the conference call quickly, and then went through this very briefly. I really haven't touched on it, so probably everybody listening to me right now is a lot further ahead than I am, but the biggest takeaway for me was the reduction in debt, 26% net revenue growth, which is huge. They had a ton of growth from their MJ segment as well, which is great to see that kind of come back. And then overall, just a really great report. They had a much better improvement in EPS as well. If we go down here, you can see net loss, 15 million, but earnings per share was negative 0.04. And for the year, fiscal was negative 0.33, which compared to the prior year was 2.35. So big improvement there. Like I said, on the quarter, we had negative 0.04, but an improvement from 0.15 a year prior. So we're definitely on the right track. And one thing that excites me the most about this company is it's not even funny how early we are. Like this company, it acquired 8 beverage brands from Anheuser-Busch as well, so ABI. And just look at this revenue growth, right? 50 million, if we can even go back further than that, 15 million, 23, 40, and Peter Thiel backs this company. So yeah, there's just, this company is a absolute juggernaut in the making. And you just look at the revenue growth, right? Up and to the right. This is exactly what you want to see. Obviously, you're going to get tons of analysts and fundamentalists out there that say, they're not profitable and then slam me with all kinds of numbers. But one thing I know in a growth industry, I tend to not look at the numbers a whole lot. Look at, all the companies that Warren Buffett missed, Apple, right? He just didn't understand the industry, right? And you and I, like if you're listening to my voice right now, guy or gal, we put in way more work than any of these other, value investors, right? We know where the industry's going. And what do most of these value investors do? They don't even smoke the product. So they don't know who has the best innovation or products. Imagine, and then I see tons of people buying companies that they never try their products. I mean, imagine being Warren Buffett and buying, millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars or some large sum of money that you consider it to be to you. Imagine buying, with your hard-earned money, tons of money in a company that you never try their products, right? And I've done so much research, right, from the Hexo days, and also being around the industry for over half a decade now. I know these companies like the back of my hand here in Canada when it comes to product, but not so much in the US. But if you look at the US, it's very reminiscent of Canada. There's so many operators doing the same thing, but we're very differentiated here now in Canada, and Tilray is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Like this company is going to be massive, folks. Look at the revenue growth. It's going from 50, 15, 56, 142. I mean, mind you, there were some acquisitions in there, but 153, 184, 229, $100 million went in excise taxes this quarter as well. So, and for the quarter, I think they said 31 and change million. So it's just insane to think about. That has to improve, right? We're going to get there. And I want to play just a couple clips, actually. I was going to save this to the end, but I want to play it now. And then we'll take a look at the chart. There's not really much to be looking at in terms of the chart at the moment. We were looking at a move up to around 205, the inverse head and shoulders on the daily, bouncing off daily oversold. But we'll jump into the chart real quickly if anybody has any questions about the technicals. But curious what everybody else thinks about this. But essentially, they beat on their revenue estimates and they missed on their EPS, but only slightly. And overall, a great report. And the biggest news of the day and of the call was that they are going to launch hemp drinks. So let me play that real quickly here.
We also relaunched High Vault energy drinks on Amazon and plan to launch new hemp-derived Delta-9 beverages strategically in selected markets, including Texas and New Jersey, where we can leverage our existing beverage distribution network. Our hemp-derived Delta-9 formulations are complete, and we're actively developing a target launch strategy to ensure maximum impact. We look forward to sharing more updates on this exciting development soon. With our operational strength, Tilray is on a path to become a lightning rod for the beverage industry, rejuvenating growth into these brands. In Tilray Spirits, Breckenridge Distillery continues to win accolades as the best American whiskey 2 years in a row.
All right, I think that's it. Did everybody hear that okay? I think that came through fine. Like I said, I'm not in my regular setup. I'm using one screen right now on the laptop, but I just want to make sure that came through okay before playing this second. Pretty sure I had it set up correctly. But that's big news. That's huge news. Like I said, I just made that video a couple weeks ago. Scroll down. When hemp drinks. So just a couple of weeks ago. And I said, this is very possible, right? The fact that Curaleaf also launched their product. So it was very timely of them. And in my opinion, with the highball energy, I even said highball. And they said they're launching it on Amazon. So just imagine once it's actually legal and you can buy legal products on Amazon. They're already doing it through Uber and DoorDash. So and then think of Europe, right? One thing just before, while I'm waiting for people to respond and make sure that video came through clear of the conference call, Germany is going to be absolutely massive, right? They just got their license for Germany, and that was under the first new MJ cultivation license under the new regulations. So they're huge. They're a huge step ahead in Germany. We know they already have #1 market share. And Germany is just a stepping stone to Europe, which will have over double the population of the U.S. So we all think that the U.S. is the end-all be-all, which in terms of an economic superpower it is, but it's not the end-all be-all on a global scale. And yes, those that dominate the U.S. are probably going to dominate the world and the top big companies, right? But they'll get there eventually. But just think, if they're already doing this, and we've seen through the Hexo acquisition, the Truss acquisition, which was the joint venture with Molson Coors, it's just been an absolute roller coaster, but we're definitely coming out of the other side of it positively now. And net revenue, they said they had forecast as well for revenue on the call. I think they said it was the only guidance that they gave, and they said net revenue somewhere around 950 million. So we'll see what happens there. They reported revenue also exceeded Zach's consensus estimate by 1.88%. What other highlights did I have written down here? So the company's MJ business generated $71.92 million in revenue, a year-over-year increase of 11.7%. The wellness business generated $15.66 million in revenue. And I'll just take a look at the stock price there after hours. It was up to 7% there at the close, 196. But 207 after hours. And what did I say multiple weeks ago? On the daily time frame, we had an inverse head and shoulders, which played out with an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, a daily uptrend confirming, coming off daily oversold. And the target was 204, and we hit 207 after hours. So there you go. Show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. And in this case, the news was fantastic results here. Record fiscal 2024 gross profit, reduced net convertible debt by $300 million in fiscal 2024. Yeah, fiscal net revenue reaches $789 million, led by MJ net revenue of $273 million, and beverage alcohol net revenue $202 million. This is, like I said, this is only the beginning. Just imagine when the excise tax improves in Canada. Imagine once they're able to. He even said on the call, Irwin said, imagine once we're able to sell into the U.S. And he said, I can't wait for people to try the beverages, specifically from Truss, and that is definitely the biggest growth category that I could foresee for this company. If we see these if you try these MJ drinks that they produce here in Canada and the U.S., it's game over. There's a reason why they don't want them to go there yet, because they just wipe out all the competition. These drinks, it's I don't even know how to compare it. It's like drinking Coca-Cola to somebody who made it in their bathtub. You know what I mean? It's somebody tried to make the Coca-Cola recipe in their bathtub and failed miserably. That's how I felt when I went to bought MJ drinks in the U.S. It's just terrible. Some of them are getting better. I haven't tried I've interviewed Major, which John Keeber from Nevis Brands. I haven't tried their drinks yet, but I hear good things about them. But I was going to go through more of the highlights, but there's really nothing that I wanted to allude to other than that. I'm just seeing here. See, we have quite a few people in the chat's going wild. I just wanted to check on that. See if everybody can. Yeah, sounds good, bro. Okay, haven't heard anything. So there's one more video that I want to play here from the conference call. One more clip, and it has to do with the hemp drinks. So I'm just going through my notes, and like I said, I'm on holiday, so things are a little bit out of whack right now. It's after midnight, and my daughter's sleeping, so I'm just trying to get through this as best as we can here. Tilray Brands reported strong revenue for the quarter. Still had a net loss, as I mentioned. All right, I think that's it. So we'll go through this. Start here. There we go.
Fill prescriptions very quickly, given the increased demand. So those are the two bottlenecks that we see. And I think both are more short term, as in fact, both sort of aspects of the supply chain, one, the import permits from the German government, and then fulfillment of prescriptions start to level out as more and more resources get put against those. So I do see them as temporary measures in terms of restrictions on growth.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that color there. And then second quick one for me, just on the hemp-derived Delta-9 beverages that you mentioned again on this call. Formulations are complete. You mentioned you're going to do it state by state. I believe you mentioned Texas and New Jersey as two of the states. So just any commentary of how many states you believe right now you'd be able to, sell into, and then how the conversations you're having with some of your distributors, both larger and smaller, in terms of the desire for these hemp-derived beverages. Have you seen the desire, increase, especially their ability to participate with someone which is an existing player like you guys with alcohol beverages? So how are you seeing the overall demand for these Delta-9 beverages, and how many markets do you think you're going to be able to into within the current environment? Thanks.
So number one, you heard me say before, and I wouldn't put a dollar value on it, but if we could sell our THC beverages that we produce in Canada today in the U.S., it would be a large-size business for us if we could ever do that. With that, we can't, as we can't sell anything, that are THC-infused products. We're looking, and you heard me mention the states we're looking at, and I will tell you this here. There is a lot of our beer distributors that have reached out to us and want the product right away because they have seen in markets where it is how well the sales are doing. So, we'll look at rolling it out online in some markets, and the markets we feel that we can do it, and we can do it legally, we can do it right. There's about 3 or 4 markets that we would do right away. We do have the product. We do have the product that has been developed. We have the formulations. We don't have products, out there today, but we do have the formulations. We do have the product ultimately ready to go once we can, get the go-ahead and we know what our plans are in which markets.
Okay, great. Thanks for the call, and I'll jump back into the queue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question today is coming from Owen Bennett from Jefferies. Your line is now live.
Afternoon, guys. Hope all well. I just had a couple of questions on beverages. The first one on energy drinks, obviously a very attractive category, but also very competitive. I was just wondering how you're thinking about what you think you need to do to be successful in that category. And will the focus be on highball, or are you planning to launch additional brands as well? That's the first one. Thanks.
So I think, and again, your team crossed a little broken up. Will the focuses be on our beverages? Was that what you're asking? And what beverages, what brands within our beverage business?
No, sorry, you didn't hear me. It was on energy drinks specifically. And
the energy drinks.
Very attractive. Yeah, very attractive, but very competitive. What do you think you need to be successful in that category? And will it just be highball or additional brands beyond highball?
Oh, okay. I got you, Owen. Sorry about that. So, Owen, I got to tell you, in my career, I've got lots of requests from consumers. I've never had so many requests for consumers on Highball when ABI, discontinued the product. So there will be a big, focus on our Highball product. We've come out with a water product called Liquid Love. We tested in the marketplace with some very, very high, results and good results on that. Our non-alcoholic beers, if I was to put that in a glass, and even you who knows beer, ultimately, I'm not sure you'll know the difference between that, a regular beer and a non-alc. So we've come out with some good energy drinks. We've come out with some great non-alc beers. We've come out with some water drinks with Liquid Love, both in sparkling and still in multiple flavors. And so far, the demand from our distributors and our consumers has been strong. But we'll continue to push out the innovation that we have put forth in regards to some of the stuff that we come out with Montauk, some of the Sweetwater, some of the 10 barrel, some of the new flavors that we've come out with Shock Top are some of the exciting things. So we see tremendous growth in some of the brands that we acquired, returning to growth where they were declining.
Okay, thanks, Erwin. And then just one quick follow-up on Aaron's question on THC. Are you planning to sell this via e-commerce as well, so you can get these brands national?
So, sorry, Owen, it sounds like you're talking into like a cup. Can you just repeat the question?
I think the question was on Delta 9.
Yeah, are you planning to sell that via e-commerce as well?
Yeah. Like I said before on Delta 9, it's something that we're going to, focus on, and we will sell it in e-commerce, but we will sell it into retail through beer distributors that everybody's in agreement that can take it, and in retail markets that we can sell it. And so far, we've had a great response from our distributors and retailers that are interested in this product.
Great, thanks, guys.
All right, so hopefully people understand the significance of that. That is huge. The importance of that cannot be understated. So they already have their Delta 9 hemp-derived beverages ready to go, formulations ready to go. So we should see a product line soon, right? We just saw something from Curaleaf, and they want to start in Texas and New Jersey. Excuse me. But there's some other options as well, right? So they can expand. He didn't really say anything to the e-commerce, but it is what it is. That's more than likely going to be something that we should see, right? And they mentioned Highball on Amazon as well. So we'll see. It really is. It's so early, it's not even funny, right? Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Once they can sell the Trust beverages, the Trust Canada beverages, and THC full, the ones that they have here, under a full legal framework, it's game over. When you try one of these beverages in Canada, it's literally game over. These beverages will be everywhere because they're so innovative, they're so delicious, they're amazing. It's the best growth category that is so small, right? It accounts for only like somewhere between 2 and 3% of the entire MJ market, but they're going to be able to sell into the U.S. now. And the fact that they're using their distributors and their distribution network through their alcohol business is just absolutely brilliant. I also love the fact that they're coming out with non-alcohol type of beer, which he said on the call that I just played, he can't really tell the difference. But yeah, curious to hear what everybody else thinks. But like I said, I made a video a couple of weeks ago about this, and I said that was more than likely going to be the case, where they should be entering soon. But it seems like they kind of learn from the mistakes of Hexo and the mistakes of Molson Coors through that joint venture and Trust CBD USA, which was the hemp drinks, but they were only able to sell them in liquor stores, and it just didn't seem to catch on, and it didn't seem like they probably weren't putting enough focus behind it, right? So the fact that they can use Highball, they can use the Sweetwater Brewing Co., the 420 Pale Ale, like, I can't believe nobody mentioned that. I definitely would have if I was on the call, but yeah, it's this is probably the biggest news, I would think, out of this report. But then other than that, just great financial results as well. So curious to hear what everybody else has to think. I could jump into the chart a little bit more, but yeah, we're looking fantastic. We're getting above the 10-week moving average for the last several weeks now, going on a month. We just had a bull cross of the weekly stochastic and the MACD. We are getting above the 50 weekly after hours, which, like I said, we hit 207, and I drew out the inverse head and shoulders that said we were targeting about 204, 205. So we hit that after hours today, and we're looking at north of $2 now. So the next one on deck would be the 100 weekly at 237, and we have the 200 weekly moving average, the 100 at 237 and the 200 at 665. So you get a couple candle closes over 237, probably heading back up to that $5-6 in a hurry, and that would more than likely be on rescheduling, some sort of, Florida approving adult use, right? Probably going to see both of those happen into the fall, in my opinion, and it's also an election year where we're going to see both sides of the aisle more than likely try to use different types of issues to gain votes, especially from younger voters. And one of those would be MJ, right? Tilray on the daily time frame, we're gearing up for a golden cross, which really could happen anytime now. We're above all the daily moving averages as well, so it's looking good from a technical standpoint. So that was just basically that in a nutshell. If anybody does want me to jump into the chart, again, I can, but that's pretty much it. We're still just waiting on a monthly uptrend. It's looking good. And yeah, like I said, it's almost 1 a.m. here on the East Coast, and trying to keep it down. So just wanted to come on and give an update and share anything that I found that people may not have saw. And yeah, it was a fantastic report. Looking forward to this one. Thank you for joining. BJ, we got Benjamin, not to be confused with BJ. That is a different handle. Tilray earnings were better than expected. Absolutely, I would say so as well. I listened to their earnings call. It's pretty good. Yep, you can, it's a very professional report as well. It's a very professional call, a lot of moving parts, and the company's, it's backed by Peter Thiel. This company, it just came out of nowhere, right? Even during the IPO, shot up to $300 a share. It's this company is no ordinary company, is what I've been saying. If I could equate, this to the .com days, I would say this would be right in there in the upper echelons of, your Apples, your Amazons. Not in terms of market cap. We know that we're not going to hit 3 trillion in market cap, Tilray Brands, unless something miracle happens, or maybe it's 30 years down the road. I don't know, maybe even longer. But, Tilray could realistically get to, it could probably get to 100 billion to 250 billion in the next, no one really knows. It's how quickly do things happen, right? So it could happen in, very short period of time. It could take longer. And as we know, it's been it seems like it's been forever. But the thing that we have to remind ourselves is it seems like an eternity until it isn't. And then things start to roll in pretty quick, right? That's what happens in financial markets. Soon as you get capitulated and you lose interest and you just, finally tap out, you start to, you leave the computer for a few months and then you come back and it's just crazy how fast things change, right? And it's like that for a reason. It's meant to bore you out of existence, out of the market, and then things happen quickly, they reverse quickly, and then you go chasing for them, right? And then that's how you get caught in that consistent loop, right? Go Tilray, you bet. Definitely the most exciting company in MJ. If I could only own one MJ stock, hands down, wouldn't even lose any sleep over it. I'd be like, yeah, Tilray Brands. Would there be other companies that are going to be successful? Absolutely. But if I could only own one, it'd be Tilray, and I wouldn't even bat an eye. I like I said, wouldn't lose a single second of sleep. It's so clear to me, right? I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of research into their products, into their company, into the, the multiple stakes, not to mention there's just so many things. I won't even start to name them, but at about for the time. Sounds good. Perfect. Well, good news. Tomorrow, the sell-off around 2:30. 2:20. Yeah, I'd say 2:20, 2:30 should be a decent area to target, but you never know. The broader market's looking good. IWM just confirmed a monthly uptrend, showing risk on in the market again. These elections are starting to heat up in a big way. It's just looking uber, mega bullish into the end of the year here. You sound good, bro. Perfect. Sounds good. Let's go. Let's fucking go. We got positive EPS. Let's go, baby. Positive. No, it was negative. It was negative 0.04. But yeah, like we're very close. No, it was. I showed it on the screen. It's right on the screen. Show it again. Yeah. Net loss per basic can dollar to negative 0.04. And I don't know why there's so much confusion about this. It's on here, negative 0.04. Let's see. This one didn't update yet, but it was forecasting negative 0.02. But yeah, no, they had a net loss. It was 15 million. Are you thinking about, if you're thinking about for the year was even worse. For the 12 months ended May 31st, it was negative 0.33. When it's in brackets like that, that just means negative. So it's a loss instead of a gain, right? So if that was just 0.04, no brackets there, then that'd be positive. But no, it's definitely negative. But I mean, like I said, that's still really good compared to negative 0.15. And then on the year, negative 0.33, and then the prior year was negative 2.35. So that's a sizable and notable shift, right? And it's all, in my opinion, happening after Hexo and Redican, like these brands and the acquisition of Truss as well. Like, it's going to be incredible. I mean, yeah, people tend to forget very quickly. In 2021, the company to own was Afria, right? And now Afria RX just getting the number one, the first new MJ license, cultivation license in Germany under the new regulations. They're just starting to get into Pillar 2, right? The second, which is for profit, which is commercial sales. So, and then Germany, and then the rest of Europe, which equates to over double the US in size. Pretty much everybody you know, smokes up or takes some sort of medicine and plant medicine application, right? Medicine of the future. So we're seeing tons of studies out about like anti-cancer, fighting properties. We have, all kinds of studies saying it's better than, it helps opioid addiction and withdrawals. Like it's just couple that with AI and the breakthrough that we're going to see through AI, not just from, like AI standpoint either. Like there's going to be more and more studies after rescheduling, after descheduling, after more reform, broaderly speaking. You're going to see tons of research, tons of studies. There's already more ramping up, but with the help of AI, that's going to even take it a step further, right? And we could end up finding scientific breakthroughs that we just otherwise wouldn't have been able to do with the help of AI. So, and AI will also help from a cultivation perspective, right? They'll be able to automate things and innovate things there as well. So, good morning from Europe. Yeah, it's good morning here too, Boris. It's almost 1 a.m. You could be right and I'm wrong. Not sure, honestly. Jem says, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's negative 0.04, Jem, unless it's wrong in the financial statements, because it's right there. Nothing can stop us now. Nope, not. This train has definitely left the station. No one's stopping Tilray. 300 million in reduced debt. That's a big plus. Absolutely. Stock would be at $5 within a year. Yeah, I'd say it could hit $5 USD in the next, call it 6 months, 12 months. Tilray to the moon. They got a second license in Portugal. Yeah, they did. I think they were able to bring like a few strains now into Portugal. So big head start there. Germany, dominating Germany. We have hemp drinks. That's probably the biggest news of the day today. But yeah, couple that with an amazing, like I'm not even sure the market responded to the hemp drinks. Maybe. I'm just trying to think here with the after hours. Yeah, like it was, once the bell rang at 4 o'clock, I'm just taking a look at the after hours. It shot up like right after 4. So, and then it went for like another couple hours. And then it just fizzled out and closed at 196, up 7% after hours. But it was up to 207. We closed at 196 after hours. So that inverse head and shoulders target of around 204 was met. And I'm not sure. It's a bit of a descending triangle forming after hours. So if that pattern does play out, we would see about 186 tomorrow. And in order to confirm that, we would have to lose 194. So that's what I'd be looking at. But yeah, overall, I'm not too sure how much the market and investors really kind of digested that hemp news, because that's big news. I'm not sure if anybody heard that, and some people might have even dropped off the call. Like that was in one of the questions. Like they mentioned it, I think 22 minutes in, and then some people kind of drown out a few things, but I don't know. Maybe people signed off early. We'll see what happens, but in my opinion, that hemp news, the hemp drinks news, is definitely huge. U.S. and EU legalization will be mad. Yeah, like it's really hard to fathom, right? It's like Germany, Canada. Canada is the North Americas, right? And then you got Germany and the Europe, right? It's like, oh my God, this is Thailand was kind of the mover over in Asia. So we'll see what happens. There's been a lot of pushback there, but there's been a lot of pushback in the U.S. There's a lot of pushback in Canada, a lot of pushback in the EU as well, I'm assuming. So eventually we'll get there. You can't stop it, right? It's medicine. It's good for humanity. People benefit greatly from it, and it's just going to happen, right? And if we just look at the Tilray chart, look at the MJ charts, 10, 20 years out, I strongly believe that, we're going to look back at these prices and just laugh, right? It's like, how did I ever doubt this? Do you still think crypto will have its run before MJ does? Matthew says, yeah, we're already seeing it, right? Like, it's definitely alt season in crypto. So basically, the only thing that is hard to predict is time. So if something doesn't play out on your timeline, you just have to extend the timeline, right? And with crypto, most people thought we would have had an alt season before, but it's probably because of that we didn't, right? Everybody thought that one thing was going to happen, and then ultimately what most people think is wrong, right? And they just continue to drag it on, but they have all the marketing machine behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? If you go on any company or any exchange, right, they only promote Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like that's the number one thing that they say, a number two thing that they say, right? They don't even usually mention anything else. And it's like that for a reason, and they're funneling everybody into that. Everybody's going to FOMO in, right? They're going to probably send it north of 100K, and this is what they do in MJ stocks as well, right? They FOMO people in, and then they get you ultra bullish at the end of the cycle, and they say, Tilray at $1,000, there's no way it's stopping there either. And then it reaches like 300, 400, and I'm talking about, not Tilray specifically, like that didn't actually happen, but you know what I mean? Like when you're in the bull market, it seems like there's nothing, all the talking heads, the media is saying, this is all sunshine and rainbows and it's warranted and we're just going to keep going up, right? And they pull me in, and it's like that for a reason. So in my opinion, crypto, would it, like, I think MJ will run. I think it will run for sure. Like, I think we'll get back, like, we'll see some rotation of some of the big tech stocks, right? We'll see just rotation naturally, but the bull market's still on. And then, money just ebbs and flows, but it's not actually leaving the market. So I think that MJ stocks will start to ramp up into the end of the year here, and crypto will as well. It's just crypto will outpace it, and that's where the majority of dollars will flow. But then once crypto tops out, sees its massive end of the bull market, right? Because it's been in a multi-year bull market. MJ's been in a multi-year bear market. And this is what happened when Canada legalized as well. So over the next few years, we could see the US deschedule. We could see the EU, right, start to show broader reform like Germany and Europe. And those two catalysts together, like, it's hard, like you say, it really is mad to think about. The media would just be insane and the hype would be insane. Just look at what happened in Canada, right? Like $2 stocks up to like $60 and a few $100s, right? Like in a very, very short period of time. So I do think that crypto will run, but MJ should recover as well. But then, we're probably going to see crypto and big tech and AI enter a bear market. Going to undo a lot of the good that we had in MJ. Everybody's going to capitulate. Oh, we're going into a multi-year bear market in the broader market, and then they'll probably sell, and then MJ will get reform, and the US will probably show some sort of reform, and then the rest of the EU will probably follow suit with Germany, and then people will miss that boat as well, right? That's how the market really works. Could it happen differently than that? Absolutely, but once I start to see signals like once the congressmen and women ban themselves from owning stocks as well, that's going to be a huge top indicator, and the first time that the Fed's cut rates. So we do have an interest rate decision on Wednesday. I'm not sure what the exact probability rate is right now, but I would say it's more than likely going to be just a pause. They're not going to do anything. And then in September, I think is the most likely scenario where we get that just before the elections, but we'll see. Yeah. Jerome Powell has been said to say that, he doesn't favor any politicians, so it doesn't seem like he's going to really worry on the election. So maybe it comes after the elections, we'll see. But those are two major top indicators, and then after that happens, we're probably going to see a pretty big dip in the market. Like if we're going to see, I truly believe, and I'm not trying to be an alarmist, that we could see one of the worst, if not the worst, stock market crash in history. It's going to be on par with some of the worst, or it could be the absolute worst. And the thing you have to remember is, the market has been at all-time highs for forever now, and it's just raging bull mode. So if we pull back 50%, it sounds like it's the end of the world, but that would only be, just around 300 on the S&P 500, which we were at 200 a few years ago, right? So, it's all about perspective and looking at it from a percentage. If we were to drop 50% on the S&P 500, you know what the media would be saying? Well, you know what I would say? I would just say, well, yeah, let me bring up. So I would just go to my computer. I'd type in SPY. And if they say, oh, we dropped 50% on the S&P 500, they would say the world's ending, right? They would say this is the worst crash in history. This is going to create mass chaos, etc. So, from the high of the stock market right now in the S&P 500, if we were to drop 50%, we'd be sitting at 285. Actually, hang on. We'd be sitting at 282. So that would be, they would say the end of the world. And I would say we would be in the month of August 2020, right? Because just in 2020, in August, we were at that level, right? So it doesn't sound that scary when you just think about it from a perspective of percentage, and then also just, looking where we are now versus where we were. A 50% correction is normal. It's going to happen at some point, more than likely. Who knows? Maybe it's not 50, maybe it's 40, maybe it's 60, right? The stock market dropped about 50% after the internet boom, right? .com era. So, it's not the end of the world. The market would recover unless you think the U.S. and the stock market is just going to cease to exist and never recover. Okay, well, I don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, go on a bit of a rant there, but do you think, yeah, so that's the next one. The U.S. market will be massive. Can't wait until I can order their MJ drinks online. Yeah, so we still can't really, we can order MJ drinks online, but we have to go through dispensaries, Benjamin, here in Canada. So, I can go to, Canna Cabana, which is a high tide retail store, and I can buy drinks online. But, yeah, there's nothing that I can, go to Tilray's site directly or e-commerce site yet. But they said, they didn't really allude to it on the call from what I could hear, but there'll definitely be one eventually. But just ordered Highball from Amazon. Nice. How much are they going for? Let's check that out. Amazon. And, is it on? Yeah, Highball. Maybe I'll order some, too. I'll be back in Edmonton by the time I get there. Highball energy drink. No, all I'm seeing is... Damn it. Is it not in my area? Might only be in the U.S. or something. Yeah, that makes sense. And they're doing it strategically with the hemp drinks, right? They're learning from their Molson Coors, and they're not trying to be everywhere they can be legally. I think they're going to focus on a few key markets, and they're going to focus on their distribution network and their distributors. So I think that's super, super smart. But yeah, let me know how those are. Good M Finance. Let me know your review on that one. Can't wait to try them. Hey, Calvin. How you doing, buddy? You should be enjoying the time with your family, Justin. Yeah, I definitely am. But, part of my passion is coming on and chilling with you folks. And, yeah, I was going to do this anyway, so I may as well come live and review it with you all and hang out. I hope you're enjoying the trip. Thank you very much. Love to hear your thoughts on the positive cash flow and how this will fuel the stock price for the future. Yeah, I think it was positive adjusted cash or free cash flow. Like I said, I can't really look at the financials and put too much weight behind it because there's so much growth, right? Like Germany, they just got the first cultivation license. They're upping the strains from like 3 to 31. And then Pillar 2 is coming. Europe's going to see broader reform, which is double the population of the US. They're launching hemp drinks. Their beverages are growing. Like I think their Shock Top was grew at like 15% for the quarter or something in sales since they acquired it. And Highball was kind of a dead brand and then discontinued, and they're bringing that back from AVI. So there's so many things to consider. And then excise tax potentially being in the works here in Canada, improvement to that. They said they paid about 100 million and I think like 31 million for the quarter. So there's just so many catalysts, right? And then if the U.S. were to ever legalize, reschedule, see medical there potentially, it's hard to fathom what. Like we're going to look at these numbers let's look at the revenue growth, right? We're going to look at these numbers, and they talked about as well being able to adjust some of their gross margins as well, which would add, probably I would guess tens if not hundreds of millions to their bottom line. They're talking about utilizing facilities. They still have the advisory fee as well that they're paying. So there's a whole bunch of things that are going to improve. So I can't really look at these financials right now. And like, I'm not a financial, I'll be straight up with you. Like, I'm not a super well-versed financial accountant or anything like that. Like I don't like accounting. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely hate it. But, I've never needed, there's some companies, there's some people that look at the finances and they look at the fundamentals. But if you do that, like there's so many people, like look at Warren Buffett, he's the best of the best at that. And he missed Amazon, he missed Apple. It's just, he didn't understand the industry. And if you understand the growth that we're on, the trajectory, the innovation, the medicine that we have, and the actual opportunity you have at your hand, like that's why you have to go and do the legwork and find out who has the best products, who has, these products that you can't live without. And like, I'm sure there'll be other successful companies, but like I legitimately could not, imagine a world where I didn't have Tilray products anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many products from Tilray that it's like just thinking about not having those would be like, well, that's just not going to happen. That just can't happen. It's like, would I get by? It's like, yeah, but like I'd be, very depressed for a very, certain period of time, So for me, it's just like find great companies, find a great industry, learn it better than anybody else, and find the companies that you think are going to be here in 5 to 10 plus years from now. And if you're at a very early stage of that industry that you think has high growth potential, like obviously diversify, not over diversify, but have your number one, your number two, number three, maybe you have a few different producers in Canada, a few in the US, a few different ETFs, maybe globally as well, international. But yeah, like I said, if I could only own one company, it'd be Tilray. Look at the revenue growth; it's up and to the right. It's just massive. Where there's so many catalysts. Florida, like just from a sector, we haven't even seen, uplisting to the NYSE and the Nasdaq yet. We haven't seen anything in the U.S. We haven't started. We're just starting hemp drinks now. There'll probably be edibles and things like that. So things are on the right track. When it comes to their adjusted positive free cash flow, I wouldn't worry about it too much right now. Like we're still so early. Things are going to improve drastically. There's going to be tons of consolidation in the U.S. when these LPs start selling in the U.S. They're just going to be dropping like flies, right? Same thing that happened in Canada. So just keep that in mind. We're still so early. If you want to dissect the balance sheet, I think it looks pretty good. Looking at the assets, liabilities, cash position. Oh, I was going to mention that. Thanks for reminding me now. I did bring that up. Like as long as they're not like dwindling, like as long as their cash burn isn't that crazy and they're trimming their losses, they're seeing crazy growth. But yeah, what was the cash? I just had it up here. Cash equivalents, 228 million. So, and change. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it at all. And I had it for the, yeah, that was for the 12-month, but it's just as of May 31st, 2024. So same for the quarter, same for the year. But yeah, 228 million. As long as their cash isn't, dwindling and their debt isn't spiraling out of control, what's the first thing that we see when we look at Tilray? Well, what I want to know is, do they have great branding? Do they have great diversification? Do they have great products? I know they have all of those. I look at this report and I say, okay, are they seeing growth? Yes, they are. Are they reducing debt? Yes, they are. Are they, is their losses being trimmed? Yes, they are. Their cash position, as of May 31st, 2023, it was 206 million. So May 31st, 2024, even after all this growth, right, which is most of it has been organic, some has been through strategic acquisitions, but I would say, with the help of this branding machine, they were able to integrate these different acquisitions like Hexo and all these brands from InBev, and they're just tapping into that branding and tapping into that infrastructure, right? So their cash position has actually grown by about 22 million a year ago, right? So that's great to see. Pretty much everything that you need to see, right, is on, and we're on track to do $1 billion in revenue in 2025. So yeah, I literally, I'm on vacation. It wouldn't matter if I was on vacation or not. Like, I still sleep like a baby when it comes to Tilray. Like, I have no doubts in the world. I mean, I have other products, other companies as well. Cureleaf, I've got, MSOS, I've got Organogram, right? I'll have to do an updated video, but I think my two biggest holdings, it's Tilray, Cureleaf, then I think it might be MSOS now. Because I'm just not sure in the US, right? Like, I'm very confident in the companies in Canada. Like, I know SNDL, High Tide are very up there as well. I like Organogram a lot. But the two I'm confident in the most is Tilray and Cureleaf. For US and Canada, those are my number one picks. And then, I'm looking at, SNDL, High Tide, kind of diversifying there a little bit. And then they're very differentiated as well. And Organogram, can't say nothing but good things about them. And then, like I said, the US, I just, beyond Cureleaf, like maybe a Green Thumb, but I can't see Green Thumb. They're talking about buying Sam Adams as well, but I just can't see them offering as much of an upside potential. Like, they'll probably go up 10x or 20x, but like, I'm talking like the real 100x gains. Like, I think GTI is a very safe bet, so to speak, like an IIPR. But MSOS, I think, having that diversification in the US is just, it's a great thing, because there's going to be a lot of competition in their own backyard, especially when 280E goes away, that barrier of entry for a lot of people. And that not only that has just been very unappealing, right? People are just like, I don't want to start a business like that. So with that hanging over my head, so they wait. And then, LPs, like, think Canopy going to Acreage and starting and becoming a MSO, and then same thing, SNDL and Sunstream. So it's happening, right? There's going to be a lot of competition in the US. It's going to be a bloodbath, but it's also going to be a green rush for those that stick it out and end up emerging as the winners, right? When I look at it on Google, it shows an expected negative 0.01, reported 0.04, surprise 500%, and on revenue expected. Yeah, I wouldn't look at Google, Jam. I've never looked at that. Like, I don't know if it's just like a third-party site that you're seeing that from, but no, it's right in the report, and it was right on investing.com as well. If I go to TradingView has it at negative 0.04 as well. So, yeah, I'd probably put that to bed now. I wouldn't concern yourself over too much. I'm like 100% sure negative 0.04. Go back to 100%, 100 per share. Oh, $100 per share. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Juan, that'd be all right. I think we could get back to $30, $40 in a multi-year span. I don't think that's crazy at all. They need to get into THC beverages into bars and restaurants. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the hemp-derived drinks are a stepping stone there. But, current regulations, they can't list on the NASDAQ and touch it in the US. So that's a no-go for them. Almost through the questions here. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab a drink of water. All right. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of. There was even confusion in the Pal Group private community about this, and I was like, no, I don't know what people are getting this positive for on EPS. I'm not sure what else to say. Net loss narrowed to 15.4 million in the fourth quarter. Like, one thing you have to remember too is this is Q4 and it's also the full fiscal year. So there's going to be a number for the quarter and there's going to be a number for the annual result, right? So it's like, are you talking EPS in the quarter? Or are you talking EPS for the year? Those are two things. And if you're talking about the year, then it's most definitely bad. It's negative 0.33. Yeah. Net loss narrowed to negative 15.4 million for the fourth quarter compared to a net loss of 119.8 million in the prior year quarter. Almost of which is a non-result of non-cash expenses. So then the full fiscal year net loss decreased to negative. So yeah, it was a loss. 222.4 million compared to a net loss of 1.4 billion in the prior fiscal year. So 1.4 billion loss in 2023 and 2024 was only 222 million. So that's 1.2 billion dollars better than last year. Huge improvement. So that's negative 0.33 per share, right? But yeah, for the quarter, it was a net loss of 15.4 million. So how you do that is you go to the shares. So you go to Tilray, you look at their shares. So there's 825 million. 825.84. So 825 million shares divided by a net loss of, it's the net loss. So to get the EPS, the earnings per share, which is just a loss divided by the amount of shares, right? Because you're getting the loss, but you're breaking out down per share. So the net loss narrowed to 15.4. So 15.4 million divided by the amount of shares, which is 825 million and change, 825.84. Did the shares change? Shares might have changed. So that comes in at like negative 0.019. Let me just see here. Shares. See if I can find it on that report. Common stock, shareholder equity. Common stock maybe. Alright, I'm not seeing. What was that? No, I'd have to check CDAR. I guess I can. Or Edgar. Let's check CDAR real quick. Company search. Find company. Tilray brands. So, yeah, I mean, it's taking way too long, but I want to put this to bed. I'm trying to click on all company filings, but it is not loading. Hopefully I'm still coming through on the live stream okay. I don't know if this is my internet or if Edgar's just not working. Give me a second here. Filing prior to. Anyway, no, I think the shares have changed. Let's see what Yahoo says here. I didn't see it on the actual report. I have to bring up the actual SEC filing, I believe, as I'm not seeing it there. Yeah, you take the loss and divide it by the amount of shares. So shares, yeah, it says 825 on Yahoo. So not sure what's going on there. But I'm close to as 100% as positive. I'm pretty sure like it's 100% positive. Yeah. So I've done the math and looks right to me. I think what happened was the shares must have changed. Did I maybe type that into the calculator wrong? I think that's, yeah, 15,400,000. And the loss was, or divided, that was the loss and divided by the shares. It says 825.84. Yeah, that's weird. I'm still getting negative 0.02 though. When I go to Moo analysis on EPS, there's nothing there. It's weird, I don't see the common shares on this, but anyway, we'll move on from that. I'm pretty sure it's negative 0.04. Maybe their shares changed on the result. I can look into that after the fact. Getting it to catch is, I lost my spot there, on is a problem with regulations. They need to do something other than wait. Yeah, I mean, it'll happen for sure. NARFED, we're going to enter the US at some point. It's just a matter of when, not if. Is it set in stone, or sorry, does it set a tone for BFF and MAP's earnings with Fed meeting and possible rate drop in October? Small caps will explode. Yeah, well, typically a rate drop isn't a great thing because it typically means things aren't great. Let's put it that way. So just be careful with that narrative that like we're probably toward the end of the bull market for the broader market. So that definitely will impact MJ, but there'll probably be a pullback, and then the broader market will see another relief rally, probably some sort of dead cat bounce, a monthly lower high, and a downtrend confirm. So it's not gonna happen over a span of a week or anything like that. There's going to be some pullbacks and then maybe one more leg of the broader market. But no, I wouldn't be. I don't think it would set a tone really, because a lot of this had to do with acquisitions and growth of those newly acquired brands and companies. So I wouldn't say it's a sector thing. So I wouldn't say that these results or growth would be more. As far as I know, VFF doesn't really have any Germany operations, but MAPS, I can't really say to that one either. Again, same thing probably apply to that one, but I know this is a Tilray video, but can you look at MSOS also? Yeah, it's been over an hour, so I'll try to save that one for another video. Maybe I'll do another video on that in the next couple of days, Calvin. I'll be back to my regular schedule as well in a couple of days, so should be good. SNDL, yeah, SNDL's definitely going to be another major player in the industry for sure. I really like the stock. I hold the stock, and I hold Tilray as well, full disclosure. It's a positive 0.04 EPS. Nope, it's negative. They had a loss for the quarter. Do you think we open over $2 tomorrow? It's hard to say. Like, you mean like in pre-market or the actual market? I think we could in pre-market. Whether or not we do hold it into the day, into the open and bell is another question. It'll depend on the broader market as well. But yeah, I think we should hold over $2. Maybe back below, and then kind of stop some people out again and shake some people out. But yeah, I think we could easily see somewhere around 220, 230 tomorrow potentially if everything. If the sector doesn't fall out, the bottom doesn't fall out of it, or broader market weakness or anything like that. But bearing any unforeseen weakness in the broader market or in the sector, I think we should have a pretty decent day tomorrow. Somewhere around that 230, 240 USD. Maybe not 240. I'd maybe say 220, 230. But you never know. We've been suppressed for a long time. We're still looking at a monthly uptrend. We have no real monthly resistance until 340. That's the level to break. Break that, and we're off to the races. Sorry, Rod, not trying to give you a hard time about the EPS. Yeah, no worries. I definitely want to get to the truth too. I'm looking at the report directly from Tilray. And yeah, multiple different. It says there's a loss for the quarter, and then right in the. I'm just trying to figure out why it's showing negative in some other places and positive in others. Yeah, well, it could just be mal-reporting. I don't know. They will say it's Trump's fault. He hacked the system, guys. He's a white hat hacker now. You'll see a huge drop in the big seven and pumps into small caps once BTC dominance slows and alts will truly move. Yeah, I agree. I'm late as always. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. George. Thanks for joining. Pretty late here. Going on 1:30 here, a.m. on the East Coast, but having a good time. Good news, you bet. Thanks for joining, Jamie. Just ordered some hemp drinks on Amazon, watermelon mint. Nice, sounds awesome. If stock market crashes, buy more Tilray $2 cost average. Not financial advice, of course. Glad to hear that you're enjoying the time with your family. Appreciate you coming on. Share with us how long you think until we see 5x, 10x hitting $10, $20. Thank you. Enjoy your trip. Thank you very much, Dustin. I appreciate it. Yeah, hope all is well with you as well. In terms of 10 to 20, I think it could happen in 2025. Given the right circumstances, right? It's hard to say. Like, if we get excise tax improvement here, Germany accelerates Pillar 2. We see any neighboring European countries. We see the U.S. start to dangle the carrot and move the needle there. It's hard to tell. Florida gets passed. We get some sort of banking legislation. We get some sort of uplisting, the NYSE and the NASDAQ. It truly is sky's the limit. Like $10 to $20 could just be, a blip in the radar. Like it's $10 to $20 isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things, right? Tilray was just at like $1.5 billion market cap. Like, this thing could easily go to 50 to 100 billion, like over the next 5 to 10 years, in my opinion. So we could easily see $10 to $20 over the next couple of years. But yeah, I think 1 to 2 years. The only caveat to that, and the only real $1 million question is, how big is this bear market going to be in the broader market, and how well is MJ going to weather the storm? The only way that it's going to weather the storm well is if we see tons of catalysts pertaining just to the sector alone, right? Which could happen. So for me, it's just, you don't need to mortgage your house. You don't need to take a second mortgage, or you don't need to break the bank or put all your life savings into MJ, because the multiplier effect is there, right? We're talking about 50x, 100x, maybe even 1,000x gains over the next couple of decades, right? So you don't need to invest like $100,000 or, $1 million. Like, I know people that invested $1 million into MJ at the peak and lost it all, right? So it's just that mentality, that gambling mentality, or that instant gratification. Like if I had $1 million, I certainly wouldn't be putting it into MJ stock. I'd take 10% max and put that into the into the sector, and I'd diversify it out into a few different companies in the sector, but I would never put $1 million into one company unless my net worth was, $10 million or something like that. Thanks for hanging with us, you bet. Thank you, Rod. Enjoy your vacation, you bet. All I want to know is, will I be rich this week off Tilray earnings beat? I would say no, Oscar. Probably not. It's that instant gratification mindset, right? It doesn't really do anybody any good. I wish it were true. But, the reality is it's probably going to take multiple years. And, if you think about it too, like if you don't have a long-term bag, and if you're like, it all depends, like maybe you're 19 or maybe you're 65, right? And you don't have all that much time and you're hoping it hits it ASAP. But, if you're like me and you're a middle-aged man and I'm in my mid-30s, well, I don't want to sell all my MJ stocks. I'll definitely lock in profit and take some, reload some cheaper, but I'll never sell all of it because, it's like, imagine selling all of Apple or Facebook. You would have missed, decades worth of gains, right? And just a wealth transfer and appreciation. So you always got to keep some for the long term, especially in a nascent industry such as this. SNDL 100%. Yeah, SNDL's a solid company, which is very different. Which isn't a bad thing. I like the differentiation in Canada. EPS for the quarter, negative 0.04. I honestly can't understand why Tilray isn't at $20 a share right now, just off hype and not fundamentals. Yeah, that's true, Oscar. It's kind of crazy. I think it's because the whole sector's still down, though, right? We're still seeing the shackles. They haven't been unleashed yet. So once we see that unleashed and removed, from Benzinga and Investor Place, Tilray reports fourth quarter adjusted earnings of 4 cents per share, beating estimates for the loss of 2 cents per share. Yeah, I don't know. Multiple sites are saying different things. Also, Market Cap Watch and Yahoo reported positive earnings, I believe. Yeah, I wouldn't trust Yahoo. I wouldn't trust Market Watch. I probably wouldn't trust Benzinga or Investor Place because they probably just go and look at Yahoo or Market Watch. You got to look at the actual report. And I don't know. It's pretty black and white to me. It says negative, a loss for the quarter, and rate on their sheet. Like, go straight to the source. Like, adjusted earnings, like earnings per share, no, I don't think that's adjusted. Like, that's unadjusted, I would think. Seeking Alpha has a chart up. What if Elon Musk tweets tomorrow he's integrating Tilray into his Tesla? Will it hit $50? I don't understand how you would integrate Tilray into his Tesla. That sounds like sorcery to me. I don't even know how that would look. Well, you just get in and a joint pops out? I have no idea. I'm just like trying to think. That'd be cool, but pretty sure that would violate a lot of traffic laws. There's going to be a lot of mad people in the morning if it's really negative. Yeah. I still think it's an amazing report, and hemp drinks are coming. There's going to be a lot of mad. Yeah, I already read. Sounds like they are not using real GAAP on the website reporting. I don't know. We will find out tomorrow. Yeah, they say U.S. GAAP, so on the call. 10K at 350. Nice. Cry face. Not sure if I should add more. Yeah, I can't really tell you, Mo. I can't tell you to buy, sell, or hold, but my bags are pretty much packed, so all I can say is I have more than 10K. Not sure if I should add more. Laughing out loud. 15K at 189. Nice. I'd say my average is somewhere around 250 after all my additions. So it's actually not too bad. But yeah, for one last time, like I can show people here. So if you go to the report directly from Tilray's website, ir.tilray.com, Tilray Brands reports record financial results. Financial highlights 2024 fiscal fourth quarter. Net loss narrowed to, it's in brackets, 15.4 million, so that's negative, in the fourth quarter compared to a net loss of 119.8 million. So let's go to Grok. How much did Tilray lose in the fourth quarter of 2023? $119.8 million. So according to the information provided, Tilray reported a net loss of $119.8 million for the fourth quarter compared to a net loss of $457.8 million in a year ago quarter. Holy crap, yeah, it's definitely been getting better. 119.8, right? So that's makes sense. So the net loss was 15.4. Like if that's negative, it's a loss per share. End of story. I don't really care about, like, again, I'm not a financial expert, but I just know that, when it comes to fundamentals, like I'm not like a financial, I don't know all of GAAP and I'm not an accountant. But, and then, you look at adjusted, unadjusted, like it's pretty black and white to me. I don't really care too much other than what's printed, and what's printed here is a loss. So, but again, like I wouldn't be like to say that, people are going to be mad at this. Like there's nothing to be mad about. Like cash is going up, growth is going up, revenue is going up like crazy. Like growth is amazing. They've Tilray Medical and Freya RX in Germany getting the first license cultivation under the new regulations. Starting to see Pillar 2 come. Excise tax could improve in Canada. Hemp drinks being launched, like not even in the US yet. The rest of the EU's 2 times the size of the US. Oh, and one thing I wanted to show as well is it's right here. So it's right there in the quarter, for the fourth quarter, the loss, 15.4, and then the loss for the full year, where is it? Right there. Net loss, 222.4. And then if we go down to the actual report, for the 3 months ended May 31st, 2024 column, not the 2023, it says net loss per basic and diluted, negative 0.04. On TradingView, negative 0.04, Monday, July 29, 2024. Investing.com, negative 0.04 versus negative 0.02. And it's right on Tilray's website. So, yeah, hopefully that answers it. But again, I don't really care. Like the financials aren't even factoring in. Like we're in the first inning, folks. How can the financials now forecast? Like I said, Warren Buffett missed Amazon. He missed Apple, right? He bought it years later, made billions of dollars off it because he just, knows how to buy low and sell high. And he also has way more money that he's throwing at it. But yeah, they didn't understand the growth trajectories, right? They didn't understand the industry, the sectors, and the companies, because that wasn't their wheelhouse, right? Like he's into railroads, for Pete's sake. he doesn't know the marijuana plant. Like, I love your channel. Anyways, I'll be coming up on a year next month following your channel. That's awesome. Appreciate the support, Oscar. Monroe, you were way better than me. All right, gonna end it there, folks. Didn't expect it to be an hour and 20 minutes, especially this late. I guess there's tons of people coming in from all over the world, and it's only 10:40 back in Edmonton. No mention of MedMen. Yeah, they didn't say anything, I don't think, about MedMen. That's a good point, David. We know that they have one of the only secured senior secured creditors in the filings, and that was the Superhero Acquisition Corp, which Tilray owns 2/3 of. So it doesn't seem like there's going to be much out of that. I don't know. I think if, not losing all of the money that they invested into the debt of MedMen, that's a plus. Whether or not they are able to gain some assets from it as well, depending on the asset, we'll see what happens. But maybe there's another plus that comes from that as well. But at the end of the day, that's not their only avenue into the U.S. And they're talking about multiple distributors through their alcohol business as well. So you never know. We'll see what happens. They're working with Jones Soda as well to bring Mary Jones to Canada, Ontario to start, and then looking at BC and then surrounding areas in the western coast. So lots to look forward to. We'll see what happens. All right, going in it there. Hope you have a fantastic morning, I guess, at this point for those on the East Coast. Like I said, almost 2 a.m. here. But thanks again for joining the live stream, everybody. Thanks again for all your contributions and your questions. Negative 0.04. I'm going to go with that final answer. All right, it's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we shall talk to you in a couple days. I'll be back to my regular schedule on August 1st, more than likely. But bearing any major events that I didn't see coming, we'll maybe get we probably won't get any videos out for the next couple of days, but we'll see if anything crazy happens. I'll get some out. Thank you very much for the donation, Oscar. I appreciate it. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next video.